That's what we're saying. What is best for you? We don't need arbitrary targets. In fact, I think YouGov had a survey out, 42% thought an apprenticeship was better than going to university. But it's interesting, parents were still wanting their children to go to university. So it's interesting, the tussles within a family, because you mentioned that.
I cannot remember, as a parent, high school, or you always want your kids to do better than you.
Absolutely.
But I can't remember us as parents, and I don't know about the kids, really being given a sort of broader range of options for them to take. I think the idea was, if you were pretty good at passing your exams, you should get on that treadmill, if you like, GCSEs, A-levels, degree, and lots of them are now going and staying on beyond that and doing an MA.
Because I think you and I agree on this. It should be about choice. What's the right path for you? And a degree apprenticeship could be the right path for you, or maybe going straight into work and doing a traineeship and working up. Well, we've got Chris Eckert here, and he did do an apprenticeship, and then he went on to complete a degree. So, Chris, you got good A-level grades. You could have gone to university. Why did you choose the apprenticeship route?
Good morning. I think, so for me it was 10 years ago I made the ultimate decision, really. Like you say, I could have gone to university, it was an option, but I just felt at the time I wasn't 100% committed to that course of action, and I didn't want to get sort of a year, 2 years in and realise I've made a mistake. Obviously there's cost implications there, and I just felt that it was something that I wasn't completely saying, no, I don't want to go, but at that time I wasn't 100% sure, so I chose to get an apprenticeship, bide my time, and ultimately ended up going in the long run.
And now, Nick was just telling us before, you know, there might have been a drop in apprenticeship numbers. I'm hearing an array of different stories, but if you were wanting to do an apprenticeship and you did it, where did you go out? I mean, what did you do? Where did you go and find out where in a local apprenticeship was taking place?
So I just searched the web for apprenticeship providers. I think it was the National Apprenticeship.org website. They advertise, or companies advertise on there for their apprenticeship schemes. I just filtered locally to myself and applied for multiples, and was fortunate that somebody wanted me, really.
Now tell us, I mean, you've got a first degree, you've got a first-class degree now in engineering, but tell us sort of, do you think you did the right decision? Would you make this decision again? Where are you up to? What have you got that you think was better?
100%. For me, I mean, I'm 10 years on now. I'm a time-served engineer with 10 years experience and a first-class honours degree with no debt. I was sponsored by the company.
See, the no debt, Caroline and I are shaking our head. I mean, that's part of the issue, the no debt. You're aligned with a business, your local business, what's it, automated packaging?
Packaging automation.
Packaging automation.
So yeah, they were good enough to commit to me, and I think it's a two-way thing. If you find a business that will reward your effort, then you've got to stand by them, and likewise they will stand by you, and I think that's important.
Chris, it's great to talk to you, and I really think yours is a really interesting story because, actually apprenticeships leads to degrees. You have shown that, you've gone through that route. But let me ask you this. When we were talking to Nick earlier, he said that one of the positives about going to university is the social life. It's about how you meet people, and that's part of the enrichment that goes on. I don't want to get too personal about this, but did you think you missed out on your social life not going to university?
I'll be honest, that was probably the main for me wanting to go to uni at the time. Now, obviously, current times, it wouldn't have been a factor for me maybe, but I think you've got to be careful because, in the workplace, you still create a lot of friendships, you meet a lot of people, and I'd say you probably deal with a wider spectrum of people as well. You're learning off older people, younger people. There's a good mix, whereas maybe at university, you haven't got that. So I think there's positives for both. The social side is vital for university students, and I sort of sampled some of that as a part-time student, but there's commitments with work. Obviously, it's not the same, but I don't feel I've missed out because of you can still do that. It's not they don't go hand in hand for me.
Chris,
it's not that social life when I go to university.
Can I ask you just a quick last question? You got a first-class degree, and that was going via the apprenticeship route. If you'd have gone to university, do you think you would have had the motivation? Do you think you would have got that same degree?
That's a horrible question.
It's a fair question.
I would, I'll be honest.
Sorry?
You know, if I think of myself as an 18-year-old, yes, you know, I was academically doing okay, but I think there was times during the degree where the fact that people had invested that time and effort into me that make you stay motivated, even when you might think, oh, you know, I'm not really up for this year, or you might want to turn up to lectures. So yeah, I mean, there's 3 other employees at the company, and they all came from A levels and went to university as well. So it's definitely an option for people.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. So look at that, first class degree, no debt, got a job. He said he felt motivated, met lots of people. What is not to like? And that's what we said, it's about choice. Who'd want to be saddled with debt now? You're not knowing what the education is you're going to get. Like I said, there's lots of students I know wanting a refund because they've had such a bad year at university.
You know, I think part of it is, you know, if someone went and looked at the amount of public talking